Today, I'm going to show you how I organize my toolbox and the tools that I wouldn't leave home without. So this is my utility drawer on the rear drawer system I made. Can put the toolbox right here, or I put it in the bed. Usually keep it in the bed if it's me and my girlfriend, because we need more of the space for bags back here. In this drawer I like to keep stuff that you want to be easily accessible. Adjustable wrench for random things, a light, these pliers, wheel key, a few sockets, obviously a small breaker bar to check the wheels and to break them loose if I had to change a tire, zip ties, don't go anywhere without zip ties. There's my deflator, I keep that in this drawer as well. I've done a video to kind of show about this if you want to check that out. These are some jumper cables. These are the Boulder auto deflators, which is in the video with this, and this is air nozzle for my onboard air, and of course a tire repair kit. And that's about it for the drawer. First things first, went with a Pelican 1600 case. Found it on Facebook Marketplace for pretty cheap, and it's a good size. From there, they sell lid organizers that screw into the lid and gives you a whole bunch of pockets for a bunch of random things, which is awesome for a toolbox like this. Up here in these pouches I got a voltmeter, wire brush, WD-40 hand wash, gloves, Loctite, RTV, all that stuff, electrical tape, tape measure, and then of course the most important tool out of the whole kit, probably a pocket screwdriver, about the most useful thing. Moving on down to the side here, got a Milwaukee 1/4" impact. I'm obviously going to get a 3/8 one here soon, but once I break it loose, that could run stuff out. Extra battery, very important, axle nut socket. If you don't have the right socket for your axle nut, you're not getting your axle replaced. A good I think a 3-pound hammer. Nothing goes as far as a good hammer. This is a bag of chisels and whatnot. Chisels, punches, good for getting like the cap that actually covers your axle nut off, or just anything. In here, miscellaneous bits and a bit driver for other random, random things. Moving on to the main bit of the toolbox here. I actually got this foam online, and I'll of course link it in the description like I usually do, and it's really awesome. You can cut out your pieces and then all your tools stay nice and organized. Of course I got some extensions, assortment of ratchets, little ratchets, obviously some Allen wrenches, because it seems like things these days love to have some Allens. One major key to your toolkit in your truck is a good set of sockets. This is actually a set of sockets from Mac Tools. They're designed to even help when a bolt is rounded off. They're typically a tight fit. This is a 14, obviously it gets used quite a bit. It's a very common size. It's a little tight getting on the bolt, but if you ever end up rounding one off, you're going to really appreciate that you have these. As you saw earlier in the video at the beginning, I keep all my tools at home in this single drawer, and I utilize the foam because it makes it easy to transfer them in there and take them on the road with me and not have to fiddle with a bunch of drawers and pile a bunch of stuff in there. So I figured I'd put it back in here because it's a little easier for me to kind of explain what I got going on with all these. So these are just stacked on top of each other in the toolbox. That's my first layer, most commonly used things. Moving on to the pliers. Everybody's familiar with a set of vice grips. These are amazing. They're called like Beak vice grips or something like that. These from Mac Tools as well. They have them on Amazon, I'm sure. But even for pulling out like a stud, or you can open them up bigger for like a rounded off nut or anything like that if you can get them in there, and these guys are amazing. Also for inner tie rods. A lot of people have trouble with inner tie rods with their wrench slipping on there when they're trying to replace something on the trailer or something like that, and this guy is going to hold on to it and not let go and let you be able to break it free. So definitely recommend a pair of those. Here I just have some a large set of channel locks. I actually have an even larger set that I bring because, believe it or not, a huge set of channel locks can go a long way. Actually, my larger set of channel locks at work, I'll use it to break inner tie rods free from the rack. So that's why I bring them along with me, just in case I got to replace an inner tie rod. Moving on to my wrenches here, I haven't quite expanded it as much as I want to yet. That's why I got some space, and of course even some space there for other stuff. Nice set of gear wrenches, some ratcheting wrenches. Can be really useful if you're sitting there having to unwind or undo a nut or a bolt in a very tight place. So that's why I've got these little shorty ones to break it loose, and then I can get in there and break it loose and kind of speed up the whole process. These are just a set of regular metric wrenches. Don't carry anything standard wrenches because all of the vehicles that I ride with, Toyotas and all that stuff, were all metric, and pretty much everything these days is metric. One other thing that I opt to bring with me most times, just because I run into stuff like this at work, especially with front end work, you never know when you're going to end up stripping or messing up some threads, or you just never know. So this is actually a thread cleaning kit. It's 100% not necessary. Me being a mechanic, I just like to go the extra mile and make sure I have what I need to fix it. It actually comes with these awesome thread files, which are supposed to be right here, and I think they're in another bag. But those are real awesome for, like, the stud on the tie rod end. The edges can get bent on the threads and you can't get it started, and those little files are awesome for cleaning that up. Some other things that I bring with me that have kind of gone unmentioned, and a couple I don't have with me. A good torch. This is just a propane torch. I'd recommend some MAP gas. You can go to Lowe's and get a MAP gas torch head, and then obviously some MAP gas. Normally it's a yellow canister. Real hot. Heat normally makes things come loose that shouldn't come loose, especially when dealing with front end components. Between heat and a hammer, you can get pretty much anything on the front end loose that's giving you trouble. A couple things that I'm missing today that I believe you should also bring, and I always bring with me, is a large pry bar, 2 to 3 feet long. Prying the axle out of the transmission right there, that's going to be a lifesaver. And working on front end components as well, pulling the lower control arm down to get it lined back up for the ball joint or anything of that nature, and along with those huge C-channel locks that I was telling you about. I kind of believe this goes without saying, but you should also make sure you have everything you need to change a tire. You get a flat tire, and also make sure you have a full-size spare. If you're going anywhere without a full-size spare, especially off-road, you're making a huge mistake. Yeah, your buddy might have a spare that you could use. What if he gets a flat as well? Then you guys are stuck. Well, you have to go out and get a new tire, but still, always bring a full-size spare and everything you need to change a tire. One thing I haven't covered in this video today is the spare parts that I bring along that I use these tools to fix my truck. And that's also very important. If you guys would like to see that video, just please drop a comment below and let me know. I thought about adding to this one, but I didn't want it to be too long. And if you've watched this video up to this point, I really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe and like and share. And I will be back with you guys for another video here soon.